Let's begin our broadcast with what's happening in the state of West Bengal. As the curtains came down on campaigning for phase 1 of elections in the state, a fresh flashpoint has now emerged. And no, it is not between the TMC and the BJP. It is between the TMC and the Congress. Here is what happened. So Rahul Gandhi was denied permission to address a rally in Kolkata that was to take place on the 23rd of April. Now, Congress has called it deliberate obstruction. They say that the TMC-headed administration is working against them. They claim permission was denied by citing another program of TMC General Secretary Abhishek Banerjee in Kolkata as the reason.
We have not been granted permission, and despite having applied for it well in advance, we applied for permission for the stadium in Srirampur, and we were not granted permission there because we were given a reason that apparently on the same day there is another program of Abhishek Banerjee happening. Though according to the ECI norms, there should be a minimum gap of 250 meters, if I'm not mistaken, and the gap was more than that. But still we were not granted permission. So the way the administration is working against us and the way we are being targeted, it is going to be exposed right in front of everyone. It's for people to see and people to judge.
So let's take a look at what transpired and who's saying what. The TMC says that rules apply to all the parties equally. Congress party says that the administration is working against them and hence permission was denied to Rahul Gandhi. Now, the TMC is citing the protocol or the procedure that has to be followed. TMC says that the rules are that 2 to 7 days before the event, you have to apply. You have to inform through an online portal 2 to 7 days before your event takes place. Congress says applied well in advance for permission but still denied permission. TMC then goes on to say that they are just a caretaker government and they can't speak on denial and only the Election Commission actually can answer about it. Congress says denied due to clash with Abhishek Banerjee's event. TMC reminds that go ask the Election Commission about why permission was not granted to you. Congress says ECI's 250-meter distance rule was met. So Congress is saying that we met all the rules, that we gave an advance notice before the event, and still we were not given permission because the administration is working against us. West Bengal Minister Shashi Panja rejects that charge of bias. She says that TMC is only a caretaker government right now.
आपको जो ये राजनीतिक सभा मेरा दिख रहा है मेरे इलाके में सुविधा पोर्टल के द्वारा करना पड़ता है वहां से अनुमति आती है उसके आगे दिन रात को 7 दिन से 2 दिन के बीच में करना है तो सब सभाओं को यही नियम करना है फॉलो करना है सब राजनीतिक पार्टी को जरूर इस तरीके से परमिशन लेना पड़ता है जब सुविधा पोर्टल ऑनलाइन है वो सुविधा असुविधा करता है कभी कभी वो अलग बात है लेकिन उनका ये क्यों कैंसिल हुआ उसमें तो राज्य सरकार केयरटेकर गवर्नमेंट तो उत्तर नहीं दे सकती वो तो इलेक्शन कमीशन जवाब देगी.
Let's go across to Rajesh, my colleague, who's getting us more details. Rajesh, Congress says that we applied in advance and the rules were met. The 250-meter EC rule was met, but the administration is working against us. So they are alleging that the TMC has a role to play and that's why permission denied to Rahul Gandhi.
See, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi has been denied a permission to hold separate rallies, which was supposed to happen in Srirampur, which is in Hooghly district, and another was supposed to happen in Meteor Bhuj, which is in Kolkata. Both the rallies have been cancelled because Rahul Gandhi has not granted permission from the state government so far. So, following which Congress had to cancel both of the events, both at several places, but Congress didn't get any permission from the state government to hold the rallies in both places, which is, as I said, in Kolkata and Hooghly district. Now, Congress is saying that state administration is so much afraid of Rahul Gandhi because Rahul Gandhi held up successful rallies in Raiganj, another one was in Murshidabad and Malda. After 3 successful rallies, now TMC-led government is afraid of Rahul Gandhi because Rahul Gandhi is a storm as per the version of State Congress President Shuankar Sarkar. But TMC is now claiming that the TMC is not in the power right now. It is just a caretaker government, as we also said. Now it's also already under the control of Election Commission of India. So it is Election Commission of India is the authority to decide who will get the permission. But state administration has already denied the permission, citing protocol and security reason, because Abhishek Banerjee, TMC General Secretary Abhishek Banerjee, is also scheduled to hold a meeting at the same place in Srirampur. But it is not clear why they were not given a permission to hold a public rally in Kolkata. However, Congress has received a new permission, a fresh permission letter from the state authority, from the state government, to hold a rally on 25th of April.
Absolutely.
On,
This tussle,
Saturday.
this tiff is between the allies, part of the INDI bloc. It's the TMC versus Congress as far as denial of permission for Rahul Gandhi is concerned. Rajesh, do stay on with us. Let's take a look at the other big developments that have taken place in the state of West Bengal. The Supreme Court today pulled up West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee during the hearing over the ED raids on IPAC. Supreme Court says the Chief Minister put the entire system in jeopardy. The court says they never thought such a day will come. The Supreme Court further said that these actions put democracy in peril and says this is not just a Ram and Shyam case and the court cannot shut their eyes. We also have our legal editor Harish, who's getting us more details on that. Scathing observations coming in from the top court, pulling up the Chief Minister of West Bengal, saying that an individual has put the entire system in jeopardy, democracy in peril.
Yes, that's right, Swati. Scathing remarks from the Supreme Court against the West Bengal government and the Mamata Banerjee, the Chief Minister, on the eve of the polling day. In fact, the Supreme Court, the West Bengal government had questioned the power of the ED to file a petition directly in the Supreme Court for enforcement of the fundamental rights. Remember, the Supreme Court was hearing a petition filed by the ED seeking FIRs against Mamata Banerjee and top police officials for barging into the IPAC raids by the ED. The ED went on to say that, in fact, the Supreme Court questioning how can you hear me?
Harish, for the moment, thank you for getting us the details. We'll come back to you for more inputs. We have some breaking inputs coming in as well on the broadcast. So you had scathing observations coming in from the top court. BJP cites Supreme Court and guns for Mamata Banerjee. BJP says there is no rule of law in the state of West Bengal and that Bengal will teach TMC a lesson. Here's a post by Pradeep Bhandari of the Bharatiya Janata Party. He says, and I quote, "Big blow to TMC in Supreme Court hearing on the ED raids case. SC made it clear this is not a center versus state dispute, but an extraordinary case where a sitting CM allegedly interfered in an ongoing investigation. Democracy in peril, whole system put in jeopardy. We never thought such a day will come. Even Supreme Court acknowledges there is no rule of law of ruler in Bengal. People of Bengal are waiting to teach TMC's lawlessness a lesson." So that's the post by Pradeep Bhandari of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Let me also go back to Rajesh, who continues to be with us on the broadcast. So, of course, you know, the Bharatiya Janata Party won't let go of this opportunity. Rajesh, citing the observations of the Supreme Court, the BJP is hitting out at Mamata Banerjee, saying there's utter lawlessness there.
Absolutely. Bharatiya Janata Party will definitely use this as during their election campaign. As you know, we are standing in a poll-bound stand, and there is 1 day left for the first phase of election in West Bengal. And tomorrow the election will begin in the morning, and at that point of time, Supreme Court has made a explosive observation against Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and TMC-led government. And BJP has always been alleging that Mamata Banerjee had crossed her all limits. Being a chief minister, she can't enter inside the premises where any central province or state, be it central or state province, is conducting a raid, conducting a search operation. But being a chief minister, Mamata Banerjee entered inside the premises where ED was conducting raid in connection with coal smuggling case, and she allegedly interfered into the investigation following which a seizure. At that time, the seizure process was being done by the ED officers, but it got postponed due to the interference, following which ED approached before Kolkata High Court, and then they moved to Honorable Supreme Court of India against Mamata Banerjee's interference during this investigation, a search operation at two places. One is Pratik Jain's house, another was IPAC office in Kolkata.
Right.
And following which, just a day before before the election, Supreme Court has made such observation, which
Absolutely. Rajesh, thank you for getting us the latest. Keep tracking all the developments. Moving on, meanwhile, we have some breaking inputs coming in on the broadcast. The Election Commission has stepped up its crackdown during the 2026 general and by-elections, with the seizures crossing a massive 1,000 crore mark. Tamil Nadu and West Bengal have emerged as key focus states, with large-scale recoveries of cash, liquor, drugs and other freebies, all suspected to be linked to attempts at influencing voters. And ECI has warned against malpractices. This is a big push to curb voter inducement. Illegal influence is under the watch of the Election Commission. The Election Commission has taken this action, a big crackdown just ahead of elections. Seizures cross 1,000 crore mark. Let me go across to Kritika, who's joining us with more details. And the Election Commission, Kritika, says this is a coordinated multi-agency drive. Cash, freebies seized in poll states that, as per the EC, was perhaps going to be used to influence the voters.
Exactly. The amount has now surpassed over 1,000 crores in the poll-bound states of West Bengal and Tamil Nadu. Remember, the Model Code of Conduct had kicked in on the 15th of March, and since then, massive recoveries have in fact been made. This has been made in cash, in liquor, in precious metals, other drugs, and other forms of freebies as well. And over 5,000 flying squad teams were deployed both in the states together in the states of West Bengal and Tamil Nadu, and over 5,000 teams of the static surveillance teams of the Election Commission were also on ground. Now, all these different forms of inducements have been now seized by the Election Commission. They've clarified that the total amount has also surpassed 1,000 crores. Remember, tomorrow the states go for polling. We have the first phase happening in West Bengal elections as well. And the Election Commission has rightly pointed out that this has been a multi-agency, in fact, investigation wherein the state machinery as well as the central agency forces have their flying squad teams as well as static surveillance teams on ground in both of these states looking for such inducements and any form of, in fact, complaints that have also been raised in the online portal of the Election Commission has also been in fact taken into effect. This is a portal wherein citizens as well as other political parties can also raise a complaint, and on spot there is a team that comes in to the in fact specified address and does a spot check, after which such seizures are also made. Now, different in fact type of inducements have also been captured. They range from cash to drugs to precious metals as well. Over to you.
All right, Kritika, thank you very much for getting us the details. We're moving on now and shifting our focus to the other big stories that we are tracking. A day after Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge hurled terrorist jibe at the Prime Minister, now a full-blown political war of words has erupted between the BJP and the Congress. In fact, a BJP delegation comprising Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, Union Minister Arjun Ram Meghwal and others met with the Election Commission of India demanding action against Kharge. In a memorandum to the poll panel, BJP demanded suitable penal and regulatory proceedings under various sections of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita and that appropriate campaign restrictions be imposed on him.
हमने कमीशन को रिक्वेस्ट किए हैं कि देश का कोई भी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी अगर इस तरह का भाषा का प्रयोग करेंगे तो ये हमारे पार्टी का सरकार का विषय नहीं है। लोकतंत्र के लिए बहुत ही ये घिनौना हरकत है और लोकतंत्र को ये बहुत नीचे तरीके से कमजोर करने जा रहे हैं। सख्ती से सख्ती कार्रवाई किया जाए, हमने मांग किया है। और हमने ये भी मांग किया है कि मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे जी, कांग्रेस पार्टी पूरा देश के लोगों से माफी मांगे और इलेक्शन कमीशन उपयुक्त कार्रवाई करना चाहिए ताकि कोई हिम्मत ना करे कि देश के प्रधानमंत्री को आतंकवादी कहे, इसका जरूरत नहीं होना चाहिए।
Bring to the notice of the commission that no less a person than the president of the Congress party and the leader of the opposition in Rajya Sabha has spoken in such condemnable words, and not just anywhere, not sitting with his friends. He went choosing an election-bound state, sitting there, addressing the media, and in that chose to call the Prime Minister a terrorist. It has been a pattern in the Congress party that they use chosen abusive language against the Prime Minister. And they repeatedly use it. There's no change or correction in their course.
Now let's listen into that comment which led to this controversy.
How can they join with Modi, who is a terrorist and who won't believe in equality? His party won't believe in equality and justice. And these people are joining with them. It means that they are weakening democracy. Just I wanted to clarify that Modi always threatens ID, ED, income tax, CVC. These institutions are in his hand. Again, this delimitation also he wants to take in his hand. Therefore, I say, in that context, he is terrorizing people and political parties. Now, and I never say he is a terrorist.
Now, this is not the first time that opposition has hurled personal jibes at Prime Minister. From Maut Ka Saudagar to Chaukidar Chor Hai, Congress and other opposition parties have time and again stooped to new low. And interestingly, after each abuse, Congress faced a fallout. BJP links these personal jibes to electoral loss for the Congress party. Let's take a look at the statements and the fallout. The abuse, Modi is a Maut Ka Saudagar, said Sonia Gandhi. Fallout, Modi returns as Prime Minister for third term in 2024. Then you had Manishankar Aiyar. He said Chaiwala can't become Prime Minister. Fallout, Congress lost 2007 Gujarat polls. Mr. Manishankar Aiyar also went on to take another jibe at Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and there was a fallout of that as well. These are statements that the Congress leaders made. He said Narendra Modi is a neech admi. BJP swept 2014 general elections. Then you had Rahul Gandhi himself. He said Supreme Court said Chaukidar Chor Hai. The fallout, BJP won 2017 Gujarat polls. Then you had another insult, personal jibe. The Congress workers chanted Modi Teri Kabar Khudegi slogan. The fallout, forced to apologize to the apex court. Not just that. In the latest, of course, Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, the Congress president, who said Modi is a terrorist. Will there be a fallout? One will have to wait and see. Will be clear perhaps on the 4th of May 2026. Now let's listen into what Home Minister Amit Shah said. From Kolkata, Union Home Minister Amit Shah led the charge, unleashing a blistering attack on the Congress leadership. Shah accused Kharge of using condemnable language and alleged that his remarks reflect the influence of Rahul Gandhi. The BJP has termed the terrorist jibe as unacceptable, intensifying the political firestorm.
जिस नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने आतंकवाद को समाप्त कर दिया, वो नरेंद्र मोदी जी को कांग्रेस के अध्यक्ष आतंकवादी कह रहे हैं। ये राहुल बाबा के साथ रह रहकर खरगे जी भी भाषा बिगड़ने लगी है। राहुल बाबा, मोदी जी को जितनी गालियां दोगे, जितना गाली का कीचड़ बनाओगे, कमल उतना शान के साथ खिलकर आएगा।
Let's go across to Niyamika. She joins us with more details. Niyamika, BJP says every time these personal jibes are taken, such abusers are hurled at the Prime Minister, the Congress has to face the wrath of people during elections, and they have several incidents to cite.
Well, yes, indeed. We have seen that how there is a sharp attack which is being made by various BJP leaders upon the Congress president, Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge. There is not just a complaint which is being given by the BJP's top leaders, but to the Election Commission of India, but also there is a counter attack which is coming in which they have stated that this shows the desperation within the Congress party due to the repeated losses in various elections that now the Congress leaders are resorting to personal attacks. They are using abusive language, as we have seen that how Mr. R. Ashok has also responded over the same. He has basically mentioned about the previous statements which have been made by Ms. Sonia Gandhi or the other leaders of the Congress party upon the BJP. But he has also made this claim that despite of the fact that this kind of abusive language has been used by the Congress leaders, it has only benefited the BJP in various elections. But on the other side, now the Congress party has also justified their stand regarding this entire controversy which has erupted, because the Congress leaders are saying that whatever Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge has said is absolutely right. He himself has justified that he is not calling Prime Minister Narendra Modi as a terrorist, but he is basically, using this kind of a claim that it is Prime Minister Narendra Modi who is trying to terrorize the people of this country by misusing the central agencies, be it ED, CBI, NIA. But on the other side, he has also mentioned about the delimitation issue, that making this allegation against the BJP that they are trying to create a north versus south divide within this country, and that is the only reason why he has used this particular term. In fact, we have also got some of the reactions from the Congress party, including Mr. B.K. Hariprasad, who is the AICC in charge. He had given a question. He has raised a question upon the BJP itself, saying that its own ally, it was Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, who has also used a similar kind of term from Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He has also called Prime Minister Narendra Modi as a terrorist. But why there is no clarification which has been given by the BJP at that point in time? And now, if we talk about Mr. Bhupesh Bagel's statement, he has basically, taken a jibe over the BJP, stating that what was the need of going to the Election Commission of India's office? They could have just given a call, because whatever is the BJP going to ask the Election Commission to do, they will surely going to do it, because there is no credibility which is being left within the Election Commission office. So basically, the entire Congress party is standing united. They are basically, standing in support of the Congress president, Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, and stating that whatever he has said is absolutely right. It is basically the BJP's central government as well as Prime Minister Narendra Modi who is trying to terrorize the people of this country through various means, be it the central agencies or any other political matter.
All right, Niyamika, thank you very much for getting us the details.